Welcome to Sikorski's Think Abouts, and I'm your host, Laura Sikorski. My guests and I share our operations and technology expertise to help you provide outstanding customer service and customer experiences. Today, our guest is Moshe Leeds, and he is coming to us from New York City, and he is the Sales Operation Manager at B&H Photo. I am so excited to have him as a guest. I've heard him speak several times, and our topic today is going to be how to make your IVR customer friendly. We all know that we hate pressing that 1, 2, and then 9 and 10 and whatever it is, and we never seem to get a live agent. But I think that Moshe and the team over at B&H Photo have really done some spectacular things. How do you, as an example, they have over 500,000 products. So I think he and the call center team and his technical team have done a great job. So Moshe, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Moshe heads up the sales call center to be sure it runs efficiently in all areas of the company. And he is making sure that he has the appropriate staff, he has the IVR working, and he has a really good customer experience for his callers. He's integrated a lot of different channels, defining their needs, utilizing the technology, and he just really wants to ensure that sales and the customer have the best experience overall. So once again, thank you so much for joining us. So give us a little bit of detail about B&H.
Okay, so B&H Photo, for any of you who have not heard of us, we've actually been in the retail electronic business for over 40 years now. And for electronic retail business, that's hugely significant, as you have very few companies in that genre going 40 years. And B&H has always boasted, number one, an extensive, huge library of products that we sell, huge stock, always making sure that we have products on demand, when you need them, even in very hard to find products. Customers learned to depend on us when they need any particular product. We have also one of our significant dividers is that we are experts. We provide experts on our staff who not only just sell, but they are industry experts, and they know the products that they're selling, and they can help customers navigate the technologies and help them find the solution that best fits their needs. We started off on a little storefront, and now we have a huge store on right down the block from Penn Station, where that is a destination for many tourists in New York City who come and check it out there. And for anyone who has not been there, please, I encourage you to do so. It is an experience of a lifetime.
It truly is a superstore, and I know that friends of mine have used B&H quite a bit, and they always tell me that no matter what the issue is that they may have with their electronic device or any type of technology, your guys are always there to help satisfy and correct the issue. So give us a little bit about the type of products that you sell.
So B&H Photo, that's how we started.
Okay.
40 years ago, what was photo? Photo was pretty much film processing and, film cameras. But we have since evolved into a huge resource for all electronic sales. We have right now, we boast about, I believe it's 12 header categories on our website. And we have gone from photo to pro video to home entertainment products, and more than that, we've been consistent in evolving with technology and remaining and providing and offering the cutting edge. I believe it was over 2 years already since the drones have hit the market, and we were selling those before they were a fad. And now, as virtual reality becomes more than a fad, but a technology that many companies are trying to integrate as a regular experience, we're on the forefront of that as well, and providing virtual reality products.
Before we go in and talk a little bit about how you designed your IVR, how large is your call center? And, for example, volume, number of seats.
So our call center is pretty much divided into three different organizations. We have the sales organization, which we call sales because that's where customers call us up to purchase orders or to find out about our latest products we're selling. We have the customer service department, which mainly handles the post-sales. And then we have our B2B department, which deals mostly with corporate accounts and educational and mostly B2B. So as a total, we're close to about 300 300 associates in our call center.
Wow, that's a fairly substantial call center, and so you obviously have the challenges that every call center has in terms of staffing and how to handle the irate customer and so forth. So, but I understand that you guys do very, very well. So I think that you're to be commended on how those call centers work, and I know that you and I have seen each other at Interactive Intelligence seminars in the city, along with going to their interactions in Indianapolis, and you're always one of the speakers that people like to go to see. Your rooms are well packed with some of the stuff that you guys do that are pretty spectacular. So let's talk about how did you design your IVR?
So, being in the business for so long, our IVR has gone through so many changes. Even before IVR was invented, the automatic, people just call up and they want to talk to someone in photo, and that was pretty much what the category was. However, now as we've evolved and moved on to many more categories to sell and to offer expertise, it's become a challenge. I mean, right now our IVR is pretty simple as far as navigationally. You call up, you select one for sales, and you're presented with a number of high-level categories. And once you select those, you'll be taken to some subcategories in which a customer can navigate and decide where or whom they want to speak to.
So you primarily always give it to a human, so to speak. Do you ever do any type of self-service on your IVR, or is it always to a human, so to speak?
I understand the question. Today's, you're never sure.
Right.
So for the most part, we're offering mostly human contact. We've tried a few things in customer service. Mostly what we've leveraged a lot is importing information that we have from the customer. We just moved on to Salesforce as a CRM platform, and we try to just leverage as much information as we can, either about the customer or about the product that they're calling us, to give us a better heads up and more tools to better assist our customers.
Well, that's great. Just so, while we're talking, maybe somebody wants to call and dial you. What's your 800 number there in sales?
Man, you caught me.
Oh, okay.
I can give you our local number. That I know by heart.
Yeah, that one I know too. Okay, so we'll maybe by the end of the show we'll be able to get you that number, folks. And we're going to go to break in about a minute. Just give us one challenge that you had when before you started with the IVR. And then we'll continue after the break.
So I think a very significant challenge that we continue to face and is due to the vast spectrum of the types of products we sell. It's very challenging to really capture or define them in a way that customers can understand where they need to be or who they need to speak to in order to get that assistance. Because we provide expert help, we want to make sure that customers get to the right expert that can assist them the first time and not have to navigate or speak to someone to speak to someone to speak to someone.
Right. So I totally understand with that challenge. So we are going to take a short break and we'll be back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Tim Stead. I'm from Star Communications. We're a marketing support company. And if you need help with your next marketing project, please call 273-1900 or you can go to our website, starcommunications.us.
Welcome back to Sikorski's Think Abouts, and I'm your host, Laura Sikorski. Our guest today is Moshe Leeds, and he is the Sales Operations Manager for B&H Photo, which is a large superstore electronics outfit in New York City, just around the 9th Avenue and Penn Station area. So we've been talking a little bit about how to make your IVR customer friendly, and we left off before the break about some of the challenge that Moshe and his team have experienced. So let's kind of go back and, talk a little bit about the fact that we always want to reach a human, and that was a challenge, and how to navigate to be sure that the customer was going to the correct place. So what are the other challenges?
I mean, that was a big challenge. Also, a challenge which is the fact that we have to offer so many options. And that's always been a challenge. Again, because we provide expert help and service, every industry, every technology is a different type of training, a different type of expertise, and we don't want to just bunch all customers up into one single option. Meanwhile, they have to get a runaround in order to get the agent or the expert that could help them with the solution they're looking for.
Right. So how would you gauge the success of your IVR and the overall customer experience?
So, sometimes you have industry standards and best practices. Don't go more than, I don't know what it is, 3 subcategories I was always thinking there's got to be a better gauge than that, because with the dynamic that we're working with and the amount of products and, again, the amount of expertise that we're offering, there's got to be a better way to gauge the IVR and the success of it, that customers are getting to the right place the first time,
right,
and getting their issues or solutions or sales completed. So we created a unique report that provided us with the breakdown of channels on any particular queue, starting from the IVR selection and the channel within the call center itself, to see where our traffic is coming from. Thereby, number one, on the IVR, because you could get to a certain queue or level of expertise on a few different routes, we wanted to know which ones were most popular, thereby understanding, okay, customers understand this scenario, this technology more with this category as opposed to this category. And internally also, we obviously want to see the highest amount of traffic coming from the IVR, which basically means that, number one, there's a lot less transfers from the customer, and that internally we're not just dumping calls into a queue because customers don't know how to get there. So we created this report, giving us this clarity and transparency on the journey of the customer. As a result of this report, we identified that, as a call center, we averaged around 50% of all calls coming from the IVR, which, by the way, we're better than that today. But that was our initial exposure, that, okay, 50% of calls are coming from the IVR, and it was 11% of calls were coming from the operator. Now, when I think of an operator call, the way I view that is that the customer didn't understand the options presented, or they didn't hear the option they needed, so they went for the operator. And again, because we offer expertise, it's not good enough just to do a 0 When you're paying a bill, or I know when I call my bank, I just want zero, because anyone on the zero end should be able to assist me. I want to look up how much money I have in my account or pay my bill. It's pretty much straightforward. When customers are calling us up, they're looking more than just do we have something in stock. They want also someone that could help them in the product they're purchasing, the product they're interested in, and therefore we wanted to make sure that navigation, that journey is clear and is speaking the customer language, whatever industry, whatever technology they're looking for.
Well, I think the story that I love when you tell is about the drone. So if you could tell our audience how you fixed that issue.
So that was actually very fun, because when we were getting into the business, it was new. I mean, I remember when they told us we're getting into this technology, these drones. I mean, that was always associated, with military.
Right.
That was never a consumer product, mainstream electronics. So, we were always discussing amongst ourselves, how do we want to represent that? How do we want to show that to customers? So we created a category called aerial imaging. Loosely termed, that means things that fly that take imagery, whether it's pictures or videos.
Right.
However, when we were reviewing the reports to see the customer traffic, we actually found that this particular queue had the lowest IVR traffic of any queue. They were only at 16% of traffic that was coming from the IVR versus the average was 50%. So that is a red flag. On top of that, 40% of the traffic was coming from the operator. So that was a huge red flag right there. We knew that there's a disconnect going on here, and we got to figure out what that is, because customers are not finding the queue on their own. So what we did was we did a little analytics, and we started researching. Number one, how do customers associate this industry? And I did a Google search. I typed in aerial imaging, and very few searches came up. So you saw that as an indicator that, it's probably not the most recognized term if Google can't figure out what it is.
Right.
So I was, okay, what else do people associate this with? So I started searching drones, quadcopters, and once I started going down that route, I mean, everything came up about these products. So I said, okay, I think we're onto something.
Right. Maybe
we need to change the way we're describing this queue. So that's actually exactly what we did. We renamed, we made two changes. We added on the header, so we're offering about 6 header categories on our menu, and for starters, we were never mentioning that we sold drone or quadcopter products. So we added that name. We included in one of the headers drones and surveillance equipment. And the subcategory, we again added, instead of just aerial imaging, we added drones, quadcopters, and aerial imaging. At that point, we made the change, and it was literally within one day. I mean, I get this report on a week, but literally within a day, the change was so significant. We dropped from IVR traffic in just a week beforehand, dropped from 24% to 63%, and it's still consistently one of our highest IVR traffic queues in all the queues that we offer customers.
So I think, folks, because we're almost out of time, believe it or not, what great think-abouts that we got from Moshe today is, think about your customer, think about your product, understand what it is that the customer is looking for, and your IVR is going to be customer friendly when you treat it as thinking like a customer. So for folks, if you'd like to reach Moshe, his email address is moshele@bhphoto.com. His telephone number is 212-239-7500, extension 2846. And we did talk a little bit about the 800 number, and the 800 number for B&H, if you want to test their IVR, is 800-221-5743. And with that, I want to thank Sam, our videographer, for doing a great job with us today. And also thank Corinne Murphy-Caro, who is the founder and CEO of the Daily Blue. And you can reach them at 631-761-9223. And of course, to reach me, Twitter at Laura Sikorski and cell 631-624-6650. And with that, thank you so much for clicking in and have a perfect rest of the day.